Jai Jai Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Chaitanya Jaya Gaura Bhaktari Jai Jai Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Chaitanya Jaya Gaura Bhaktari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare Rama 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare. Reading for Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. Reading from Chaitanya Charitamrita. Adi Leela chapter 13. The Advent of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Text 42. Chapter 13, text 42. Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Leela, chapter 13. The Advent of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, text 42. Vidyapati Jayadeva Chandita Sevita Aswadena Amanda Swarupa Sahita Vidyapati Jayadeva Chandita Serakita Aswadena Ramananda Swarupa Sahita Vidyapati Jayadeva Chandita Serakita Aswadena Ramananda Swarupa Sahita. Translation and purport by Divine Grace Bhakti Dhira Swami, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. The Lord used to read the books of Vidyapati, Jayadeva, and Chandidas, relishing their songs with his confidential associates, like Sri Ramananda Rai and Swarupa Damodara Gosvami. Purport. Vidyapati was a famous composer of songs about the pastimes of Radha and Krishna. He was an inhabitant of Mithila, born in a Brahmana family. Mithila is now Janakpur or Nepal. Mithila, Nepal. That time, what you call Nepal, Bangladesh, Pakistan, all the same India. Now it's divided. Mithila separated to different countries. Nepal, Bangladesh also separated. Still India is very big. So Vidyapati came from there. But it is calculated that he composed his songs during the reign of King Siva Simha and Queen Tashima Devi in the beginning of the 14th century of the Saka era, almost 100 years before the case of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The 12th generation of Vidyapati's descendants is still living. Vidyapati's songs about the presence of Krishna express intense feelings of separation from Krishna. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu released all those songs in ecstasy of separation from Krishna. So here, Vidyapati, Jayadeva, and Chandidas. These books, and their books talks about the feeling of separation from Krishna. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to teach her that with Pralamba. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to teach us this process, feelings of pain, feelings of separation from Krishna. A devotee should practice this. Every devotee should practice feeling separation from Krishna. It is recommended by Srila Prabhupada himself that we should practice feeling pains of separation from Krishna. Temple came to teach us that. Materially feeling the pain of separation from Krishna. Chaitanya came to teach that, and he lived the whole of his life in Jagannath completely in this mood, crying the whole night. Pains of separation is unbearable. The pain of separation is unbearable. It's heavier than Mount Sumeru. That is Vidyapati. Jayadeva was born during the reign of Maharaj Lakshmana Sena, Bengal, in the 11th or 12th century of the Saka era. His father was Bodhi, and his mother was Vamadevi. For many years, he lived in Navadu, then the capital of Bengal. Every year we go to this place, Bengal, Champahati. So every year in the Navadu part, we go to this place, Champahati. And there is a beautiful drama performed by devotees, demonstrating the love of Jayadeva Gosvami, Krishna, before he finally moved to Jagannath. His birthplace was in the Biribum district, in the village Kendu Bilwa. In the opinion of some authorities, however, he was born in Odisha, and still others say that he was born in southern India. He passed the last years of his life in Jagannath. What I have seen is that many Vaishnavas, they are born in one place, they move to another place, they move to another place. And because wherever they move to, they live there peacefully and perform heavy devotions. So people know it's in that place. So suppose the person has come to live here before they are born. You wouldn't know that he came from somewhere there. And even if you come from somewhere, that will not be a concern for you. You're simply concerned with it. So they live here and they move about. Therefore, people can give different. People who knows in that area don't know in this area they say that because another area say. But anyway, he moved to Jagannath Puri. One of his famous books is Gita Govinda, which is full of transcendental of feelings of separation from Krishna. Feelings of separation from Krishna. Even Krishna himself, rather Krishna, feeling the pains of separation from each other. Lakavi Kanapura Goswami said, that pain, Radha and Krishna feels and looking at each other, they perform arati for each other. Performing arati, but Radha and Krishna go to from there looking at each other like Mangalarati. So intense. Feeling the pain of separation. They couldn't leave the bed until the parrot came to pick them up. Will I say chastisement? Yes, chastisement. They're the alarm clocks. Krishna have alarm clocks. What is the parrot? The second one is Kakati. Kakati is the more. So about to mention that in Bhakti Rahasya. So Bhakti Natako. The Kavikan information, the parrot. They will daily they come to Buddha and Krishna. They will go to Radhanandi first and they come to Krishna first. Krishna Nika Kamudi of Krishna. Kapika is one of self-understanding. Yes. So the pain of Krishna is what the main idea, the main thing Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is hearing daily the composition of Jayadeva Goswami, Chandidas, and Vijayapati, three of them. About the pains of Krishna, feelings of pains of Krishna, feelings of pains of suppression of Krishna. Yeah. The pain of suppression of Krishna. Krishna himself, he also feel that pain. That is why the devotee feels it. And Chaitanya came to demonstrate that as the process of attaining pure love for God, feeling pain and suppression from Krishna. The gopis suppression from Krishna before the Rasa dance, as mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam. And the Gita Govinda expresses such feelings. There are many commentaries on the Gita Govinda by many Vaishnavas, many. Yes, Jayadeva Goswami is known as Gita Govinda. So let us look at Gita Govinda. Jayadeva Goswami. Gita Govinda at a glance. Just a glance. Means you just can't do, not the detail. The compress, not the detail. The details, it's a whole book. A whole book. Widely known, less often read. It is widely known, but less read. Much less often understood. That's nothing. It is not properly understood. It is wide. It is known. But still, many people don't read it. And even those who did it, still, not many people understood. It's cool. Sri Jayadeva Goswami's Gita Govinda is an elaborate narrative describing charming spring pastimes of divine purpose, the divine love, neglecting the existing restrictive, literally, motives of his day. Jayadeva Goswami distilled a new style which became the standard for centuries of devotional literature. Distill. You have distilled water, distilled water. And you filter something, filter it. Means Gita Govinda, Jayadeva Goswami filter all the poetry. Means that he gave the essence. There are many literally people who have composed so many things. But Gita Govinda is what? It's a filter. I mean, this is very condensed and appropriate. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he's very, very, very careful with rasabas. Very careful. No mixture. No dilution. Only the essence goes to him. So, Dhira Damodara Swami has this service that nothing goes to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu unchecked. Only the thing he approved to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Nothing goes there. So Dhira Damodara Swami is what? The filter of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He filtered everything and gave all the essence of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That's a Vaishnava. That's a devotee. The pure devotees, they do that. They offer their best, not just anyhow, not just anything. We have mentioned many times that everything we do is a service to Krishna. Everything. So what is the service? What is the quality of the service we are also offering to Krishna? This is the duty. Sorry, the mother Gosvami is teaching us in this service. Nothing goes to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu without his scrutiny. He must take everything to be sure it's perfect. No damage, no fiber, no skin, no seed. Only the essence that goes is the why? For this enjoyment. The body doesn't offer anything to Krishna if it is not the best. So Jayadeva Goswami distilled a new style which became the standard for centuries of devotional literature. Akin to an epic poem written throughout in simple Sanskrit language. Sri Gita Govinda consists of 12 sargas, divisions, and contains 24 prabandhas, songs, composed in meters borrowed from the vernacular literature of the day and linked together with numerous additional verses written in classical Sanskrit meters. Each prabandha songs is composed of generally 8 couplets, with the Dhruva part refrain that is repeated after each couplet, included in the final couplet called the Bonita part, is the author's signature. By crafting poignant lyrics using simple language and popular metrical arrangement, Jayadeva was able to make his vision of Sri Radha and Krishna's intimate, loving presence, both in the pangs of separation and in the deep rejoicing in union, accessible to the masses. In the very beginning of the first sarga is a historic description of Sri Radha and Madhava's coming together in a forest bower on the request of one of the devotees. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur describes that through this opening passage, Jayadeva Goswami, by way of analogy, reveals to the heart of advanced devotees the advent of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He proceeds then to introduce himself, his topic, and his aspiration to attain the lotus feet of Sri Radha, as well as to clarify for whom he is writing. Next comes the Saint Paul's famous Dasavatara. These prayers to 10 incarnations of Keshava, the Lord of the world, described as Jagadisha, are commonly accepted to be alluding to Lord Jagannath. They extol the divine pastimes of the source of all incarnations, who is to be worshipped by all due to his supreme position as Bhagavan. The invocation of Keshava continues in Song 2, Srita Kamal, where references are added to the Lord's more intimate pastimes. This propaganda also places Krishna in Mathura, Dwarka, and Vrindavan, and establishes the supremacy of Krishna's home in Vrindavan. In this topmost place, he is Brajendra, the exclusive object of meditation and worship, who protects the passes as he and reveals in amorous games for the Srimati Radha. Following this introduction, the poet offers a benediction to his audience and then proceeds to the main storyline. Following, Radharani is searching for Krishna in one forest group after another. Her sorrow is eased when she follows the advice of her Saki and seeks out Shyam on the banks of the Yamuna, where he is sporting with other young dancers of Braj. However, when he doesn't acknowledge her excellence, rather subtly departs. Desolate, she is yearning for her Shama Sundar, who, in the meantime, abandons all the other maidens to hunger only after her. Radha Saki tries to arrange their meeting, but Srimati ends up waiting for Krishna in vain. Radharani laments, convinced that he is neglecting her to be with another woman. But only she is in a temper. When she finally meets Purasham, who has been in the habit of slaying from infancy, she accuses him of spending the night with another gopi and thus killing her. Shyam denies being unfaithful. Radha's wounded pride, however, causes the lovers' total separation. That night, Krishna again approaches his beloved, whom he addresses as Chandi, angry one. This time, full of submission, with tender, flattering words, requesting Radha to place her fresh lotus bird feet upon his head as an ornament. On the persuasion of Asakis, Radharani relents, and finally, Shri Radha Madhava are alone in a forest chamber. The next morning, Radhika asks the Lord of her life to decorate her with his own hands. Jayadeva Goswami claims that those who taste the mellifluous songs of Sri Gita Govinda and the resultant one-pointed meditation on Sri Radha and Krishna will not experience any sweetness in any so-called sweet substance of this world. The account of the adventures of Sri Radha Madhava finishes with the saint poet benediction. May his lyrics beautify the voice of the devotees, and may Sri Krishna's all attractive pastimes bestow protection and a world of happiness upon the reciters and audience of his unparalleled poem. So when Jayadeva Goswami came to this point, is writing. And Krishna is requesting Srimati Radharani to give him her lotus feet because he wants to place them on his head. Jayadeva Goswami was hesitant to write that. So that Jayadeva Goswami's Gita is a poetic rendition of the passions of Sri Radha and Krishna and their beloved devotees in Badam. Abundant were the touching scenes depicting the intense feelings of the gopis and the Lord of their lives. Sri Jayadeva's work is a composition of beauty and grace. It is considered by Gaudiya Vaishnavas to be one of the most elevated and confidential literatures. In his masterpiece itself, Sri Jayadeva Goswami, termed by his contemporaries the incarnation of melody. Jayadeva Goswami is the incarnation of melody. Establish the audience for whom he composed his lyrics. If you are hankering to be deeply absorbed in contemplation of Sri Hari, if your mind is enchanted by remembrance of him, and if your heart is yearning to taste the mellows of his delightful pastimes, then listen to the beautiful, elegant, and honey sweet poetry eloquently composed by the poet Jayadeva Swami. Yadi Hari Smarane Sharanam Mano Yadi Vilasa Kalasu Kutuhalam Madura Komala Kanta Padavali Shirinu Tada Jayadeva Shara Swati. If you are hankering to be deeply absorbed in contemplation on Sri Hari, if your mind is enchanted by remembrance of him, and if your heart is yearning to taste the mellows of his delightful pastimes, then listen to the beautiful, elegant, and honey sweet poetry eloquently composed by the poet Jayadeva. Today, Sri Govinda is universally appreciated by connoisseurs of poetry, be they theists or atheists, laymen or erudite scholars. And it is particularly relished by a unique personality, Jagannath, the Lord of the universe himself. If one is endeavoring to understand the mood and identity of Jagannath, one cannot ignore the great delight he takes in testing the sweet Vrindavan songs, expressing the exchange of love between Govinda and his intimate devotees. Although Sri Gita Govinda is popular all over India and all over the world as well, only in Puri do we find culture of worship centered on Jayadeva Goswami's matchless poem. Here, Jagannath, having expressed in numerous ways his fascination with attachment to Sri Gita Govinda, is aptly known as Gita Govinda Thakur, the relisher of Gita Govinda. He is a person between Jagannath and Jayadeva Goswami. The name of Sri Jayadeva Goswami is frequently linked with Purushottam Jagannath and Sri Chaitanya, both when referring to the wondrous interactions between the Lord and Jayadeva during the poet's physical presence, as well as after his lifetime. In Odisha today, his birthplace, Jayadeva Jayanti, is celebrated on Akshaya Tritiya, the day they traditionally start the construction of the Jagannath Ratha Yatra chariot. It is observed by a two-day procession of Sankirtan Yatra from the Bhuvaneshwara Ananta Vasudev temple through Kenduli and Konark. This festival reflected the presence of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as described by Madhava Panak in his Vaishnava Amrita. In this work, it is stated that Sri Chaitanya and the Panchasakas were performing Naga Sankirtan, public congregational chant, or adoration regularly. One of these processions that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his associates took part in, starting from the Vasudeva temple of Bhubaneswar and ending in Puri, touching Balakati, Penduli, Kakatpur, and Konak. Upon arriving in Kenduli, the appearance place for Jayadeva, Madhava Panak described that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his associates were singing Sri Gita Govinda. As stated by the poet Sri Gita Govinda, he was born as the son of Sri Bojadev and Sri Vamadevi. By date, his birth to the first part of the 12th century during the reign of Choda Gangadev, that is 1078 to 1147. The life of Sri Jayadeva was closely intertwined with different aspects of service to Sri Jagannath. The Lord of the universe apparently relished the lyrics and above all, mood and sentiment of his devotee, and took divine care of Sri Jayadeva in every aspect of his day-to-day existence. We will examine some of the Lord's direct interventions below. Regarding Jayadeva Goswami's final passage, his disappearance day is commemorated on the 6th day of the waning moon of the month of Pausa. Some say that he went to Vrindavan for his departure. Others say that he returned to Kendu Bilva. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur has stated in his opinion that Sri Jayadeva disappeared from mortal vision in Puri, the Lila Sthana of his beloved Jagannath, Lord Jagannath. This is Jayadeva Goswami's a devotional life and his book, Gita Govinda. It is so wonderful that Lord Jagannath wears the song written on the cloth. It is printed on the cloth. Jagannath wears that. That means that he is so attracted to the devotion of Jayadeva Swami that it is also written on the cloth, and Jagannath and he enjoys that. All right. Swami, any comments, questions?
Harishan Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
Maharaj, you mentioned, thank you very much for the lecture. You mentioned that we should practice the feeling of pain of separation from Srimati Radharani and Krishna. And Srila Prabhupada has recommended that. So how do we go about it? How do we go about this to practice that?
How do you practice feeling of separation? How do you practice separation? How do you feel separation from someone? How do you feel separation? Huh?
When we really miss, then we feel how's that feeling.
When you miss the person, you feel the separation. Then it is said that that is why it is said that we don't know the value. Yeah, you don't know the value of somebody until you meet a person. The car doesn't know the value of the tail until you miss it. But in Christian consciousness, we don't need to miss it before we feel the value. Because our system is different. For materialists, yes. And we bring also that consciousness along with it, because that is where we come from. The material. So we don't value a devotee until he is not present, she is not present. Yeah, so I was asking some devotees, so is it that this devotee you are talking about, all we are talking about, is it that this person became pure today? Or this qualities, all of you are mentioning, this person has been having these qualities before today. And if the qualities were there, why we didn't see them until today? So devotees should see them always, not just ability. Why it is not real, it is flattering. If it is real, if we really seeing those qualities we're speaking about the person has left. If it is real, seen before this time, I will place that not the way the person lives. You know, when the person lives that way, the person becomes pure at time of death, becomes pure. And then people will try to glorify you. So the devotees who are really devotees you see before this time. So for Vaishnavas, we don't wait until the person leaves the body before we see these qualities and glorify them. So we don't have to wait until we miss somebody before we feel this person. If you take it from that, from our own level. So how do we feel separation from Krishna? If we are hearing properly, and now we're supposed to know that we have left Krishna since that immemorial. Now we're seeing his beautiful pictures, we're hearing his beautiful pastimes, we're hearing his lovely dealings, and then also we see the pleasure, the purities are getting from associating with him. So that will help us to feel the separation. That my life also should be like this as well. Like this person, my life also would have been like this. So from hearing, you can start feeling from hearing about Krishna and understanding what would have been our experience while we met him. We can learn that from seeing what those who are with him, what they are experiencing now, we can see that if we were with him before, that means we also have this experience as those who are with him now feeling. Then that will help us to fix a person. They want to go back to that very sweet experience with Krishna. Right?
Yeah, thank you, Guru Maharaj. And there is another point, Guru Maharaj, which is the Git Govind composed by Jayadeva Goswami is very, Lord Jagannath is very fond about it. So, in brief, if you can just describe how Lord Jayadeva was so devoted to Lord Jagannath. Like small pastime of him is Lord Jagannath.
There are many ways Lord Jagannath arranged his marriage Lord Jagannath also helped him to write the Gita on the clothes. Lord Jagannath goes out when he's singing. Lord Jagannath leaves his throne to go and hear him. Let's have very close is to Jayadeva Swami. Especially Jayadeva Swami is singing the glories of Radha and Krishna. The first time they have together. Jayadeva Swami is describing that deeply as he is participating in that person. So let's attract Lord Jagannath. That was his service in Jagannath Puri. He went to Jagannath Puri for this to render the service of reciting this person of Lord Jagannath. Lord Jagannath remembers his dealings with Srimati and the gopis by the song of Jayadeva. So they have very intimate relationship. That's the brief description of Jayadeva Swami dealing with Lord Jagannath in Jagannath Puri. All right?
Yes. And another point, Guru Maharaj, in the beginning you mentioned that the Gita Govind is widely known, but it is less read. So, and it is much less understood. So is it not like something which is going to induce people to go less and less in that understanding, or to go to listen about the song and try to understand it?
Yes. These are not modern literature that is talking about external things, the Protestant things. So people, it is maybe exalted. That is why many people don't have much interest in it. But those are very fortunate. They enjoys it. Just like Jagannath himself does every day. And when Jayadeva Swami is singing, he leaves his throne with this opulent service going on, with millions of people coming to greet him. So Jagannath leaves all those things because they're external to go and say with the devotee who is transcendental relationship. So though it's popular because devotees have spoken about widely. Devotees spoke widely. And because of that, it is popular. Everywhere people know about it going now. But because it's very, very high, many people have less interest. Just like we don't have much interest in Krishna Lila or the gopis. And for many reasons, many people have interest for many reasons. The same with people in that. So it is true that it's something which is less attractive to mundane people, and the majority of us are mundane people. It will not. Although it is popular, but at the same time, it is less understood and less read. Except when we have more enlightenment, we will take pleasure in that. Then they can make a living. Papa said in a purpose, Many Vaishnavas have written about it. Many Vaishnavas. But it's not common like other books which we read every day. Well, other we read every day, but not like the Gita Govinda. So one of the things we practice feeling separation from Krishna. So here, so if you hear about Krishna, we feel that separation. Oh, such a wonderful person. Where can I get it? I would like it. Understanding the bliss which is there, we will naturally feel the separation, and that is the time when our Christian consciousness becomes very, very wonderful, sweet, very meaningful. Because then we're no more in the material world. Now we're in the spiritual world. All right.
Yeah, thank you, Guru Maharaj. So we don't have a question on this side, Guru Maharaj. Maybe devotees from other parts of the world.
There's no question from me.
Exhausted.
All right. Hare Krishna.
Krishna Maharaj.
Sri Jayadeva Gosvami ki jai.
Right.
Sri Gita Govinda ki jai.
Bhakti Dhira Damodara